May did not go as planned. So I've been slumping really hard this month. But I still have a few things that I want to share with you on what I was working on, new yarns I've gotten, and kind of what I'm expecting for the month of June. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from The Cozy Crow, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome to today's episode of the Crochet and Knitting Podcast, episode 54. I had kind of a rough month in May, making wise and reading wise. So if you watch my reading videos as well, you'll see that I did not read nearly as much as I usually do. I was definitely in a slump for reading, for knitting, health wise. I just had kind of an off month. And I'm still kind of like getting out of it. So today I don't feel my best, but I really wanted to share with you what I've got going on and the things that I am excited about and the progress I have been making. So we'll talk more about my slump later, but let's just talk about my finished objects. First is a whip I had last month, and these are my Comfort Core socks by Summer Lee, and I have finished the whole pair. I'm just showing you one of these. Oh, so cute. I really love the yarn, and I feel like it was perfect for this type of a project, and I just love how these pops of color shine when worked with the minis that it came with. This yarn is by Dying Wishes Yarn Co. This is a Valentine's Day sock set from, I think, last year maybe. So the main color is called Kiss Me, and then the two minis are called Red Hot and Electric Love. My guess is the pink is Red Hot and the purple is Electric Love, but I don't know for sure. But they are so cute. And if you look closely, you can see there's some texture along the top of the sock. And then also along the arch of the sock that goes all the way around. So there's some like slip stitch ribbing here, and there's some purl and knit texture here. And Summer Lee modeled this sock design after some athletic socks that she really likes the fit of. So I'm excited to wear these, though now it's kind of hot outside. It is June, it is summertime, and I live in Utah, so it gets quite hot here. And so I don't wear a lot of hand knit socks this time of year. So maybe for a cooler evening or going camping or spending some time in the mountains, you know, there's circumstances where it'll be cool enough I'll want to wear these, but otherwise I probably won't try these on for a couple months until the weather starts cooling down in general, but I might get a chance to try them on before that if the circumstances are right. So yeah, I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they're comfortable when I wear them. I just think the colorway is just so fun, and I love how there's so many speckles and they just make me happy. I made the 64 stitch count sock size. I can't remember which option it is, but whatever this striping option is, I just followed what the pattern said. Didn't do anything super wild as far as like modifications or anything. I basically followed the pattern. I think I might have even followed the pattern on the heel, even though I think Summer Lee uses a slightly different heel count than I usually do, but I can't quite remember. I think it just did like mostly a basic sock. It was very much vanilla plus for me, though it felt like it took a while because of all the texture that kind of scrunched the sock up between the slip stitches and all the switching between purls and knits. It felt like this pair of socks took a little while because of that like scrunching factor, if that makes sense. So I'm really happy that they're done. The next pair of socks is one that you have seen if you have watched my latest book and yarn box video, and this is the, I'll turn them this way so you can see the pattern. These are the Book Fairy socks by Sock Witchery or Lindsay Shank Kirchner, and this pattern is using Yarnaceous Fibers in the colorways that came in the Emily Wilds book box that I just uploaded a vlog about. So if you want to see everything that was in that book box, want to watch me vlog my reading experience as I read the entire Emily Wilds series, and then as I also worked on this sock pattern, then you can check it out. I'll make sure to link it up above and down below. But what's really cool about these boxes is you already know what's inspiring them. So if you want to read the book or have read the book and really loved it, then you know that that's a book box you want to buy into. So you're not surprised by the book selection. I think that's a really nice feature. Also, I really like that Maggie arranges for the pattern and the yarn to coordinate really well. So you already have a project in mind when you open that box. You just use the materials provided and you're good to go. You can always branch out, but I love that you have a project intended for that yarn in the box already set up. This yarn is from the Light Fairy box option, and I did add on the yarn for the Dark Fairy box. I didn't order a whole separate box for that, but I know some of the goodies are different between the two, so just be aware of that as you're watching my vlog. But this Light Fairy yarn, this main color is called My Dear Emily, and if you look really closely, you can see that yellow and the purple as well, kind of sprinkled in with that dark green. It's just so fun and springy. And then this purple is called Salted Plums, and this golden color is called Golden Feathers. Super, super cute. And I love this detail. I carried it through the whole sock, though the designer originally just had it on the leg. I just thought I would like the look of it better. I have a right and a left sock, so they are mirrored with one another. And this was just a nice, easy, again, like a vanilla plus pattern because you're only doing texture on this little portion of the sock. So that was really fun. This also has a garter stitch heel flap, not the entire thing, but a garter stitch border, I should say, on the heel flap. So that was a little different than I am used to. So that was a little bit fun to kind of try something new, but also not too tricky or difficult or different. I am really happy with how these socks turned out, and I just barely finished them and blocked them, so those are definitely going in my sock rotation as soon as it is cool enough to wear socks again. And then the final finished object I have for you is the littlest gnome. This is Noodles, and he is from Sarah Shira's book, The Gnomes of Grimblewood. And I am participating in Sarah Shira's Year of Gnomes year-long knit-along, where you make one of her gnomes every single month, and then you're entered to win prizes for participating. And I really wanted to make a gnome every single month and kind of fill out the year. So this was my main gnome. He's very adorable and very small. I have plenty of yarn left, and I left it out. I have it right here because I want to make another gnome for my daughter. She really liked this gnome, and I think that she would enjoy this cute little size. And so I thought for the month of June, I will probably just make an identical gnome for her, something really small and easy, especially with me not feeling my best right now. Hopefully I can get through this little project really quick and still be eligible for this Year of Gnomes knit along. And hopefully in July and August, I'll be feeling better and can tackle bigger projects. But in the meantime, I think having a duplicate of this would be totally appropriate, and I think my daughter would really love it because she loves to match me. I'm trying to remember what yarn I used. I just used a random white mini from who knows where. I have a couple random minis, probably either like a Lang Yarns Jawool or maybe like a Knit Picks Bear Yarn, or something in that category that was just something I use for little projects, and I've used it for basically all my gnomes. So I still have a little bit of it left. So I have just random white yarn. And then for the other colors, so for the body on this gnome, I use this pink. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a little bit of sparkle. It's pretty subtle, and so you can't even really see it that well on this gnome, but that's okay. That was an accident. I did not mean to buy sparkle, but it's fine. So this is from Lovejoy, and it's called the colorway Sunkissed. And I bought this as part of their Make Your Own mini set at the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair. So if you want to take a look at my vlog on that, I'll make sure to link that vlog up above and down below. But I went through the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair. It's here in Utah every spring, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a perfect little fiber arts fair that is just like not too big and overwhelming, but has lots of options for every kind of maker out there. So that's one of the minis I picked up, and another mini I picked up at that fiber arts fair from Lovejoy again, Into the Desert. So that's this variegated. I really wanted to use this a lot, so I thought it would be fun to highlight in the hat. So I'm not sure what else I will use this for, because I'll have plenty of, honestly, both of these colors left over once I'm done making a second gnome. But I have a couple other minis that kind of fit the same color palette, so I could definitely still make a project with all of those minis from the same mini set, or maybe a larger gnome or something. It might be really fun to go with this little guy, but I haven't gotten that far. I bought a lot of minis when I went to the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair. That's just kind of what I was feeling. And so I thought it would be fun to use a couple of them for this gnome. Let's talk about a few works in progress. This one is new that you haven't seen yet, and these are the Flirt and Flaunt socks by Megan Gonzalez. I really love testing for Megan. She is Nurtured Knitwear on her social media. She works really hard. She comes up with a lot of patterns. She's worked really hard on doing a lot of collaborations, and I feel like she needs more love. So definitely go check out all of her patterns. She's got lots of designs out there. I feel like her aesthetic suits mine really well. I love working with her as a designer because she is really careful and diligent and thorough in her pattern writing, but also in responding to comments by testers. And so it's always a really great experience to test for her. So I definitely recommend that. These socks are knit in the colorway Main Street by Sorella Yarn. And I love how they do this kind of micro striping thing. They're super fun. This was like the most Glinda yarn I had that I was really feeling in my stash. With a name like Flirt and Flounce, of course, I thought of Popular. And these are in fact part of a Wicked collection that she did. And so there's 3 different patterns that are part of this little collection. And this pattern has a little bit of texture and lace and was just such a joy to knit up. I have one sock done and I've started the second sock. Let me show you the texture a little better from the front. I still need to block this sock. Look at that. So pretty, and honestly pretty intuitive once you get the hang of it. The heel is different in that it's still got slip stitches, but I don't know if you can tell that those are twisted slip stitches. So that's just kind of unique and different and caught me off guard and something I wasn't expecting, but kind of a fun little detail to have just a little bit something different. I've got the cuff done and I've done maybe half a repeat. I haven't gotten very far, but I tested this pattern, like I said, for Megan, and all of these patterns are available now. So if you're interested, you can go check them out in her shops. Again, I did a 64 stitch count sock. I think I only modified the toe to be the fit that I like, just with how my toes are shaped, but I did everything according to the pattern, including a couple things that were a little bit different around the heel than I'm used to, but I still really like the fit of the sock. And it's always fun to try things a little bit out of the ordinary for me so that I'm still stretching my skills and trying new things and not just, I don't know, like living the same old sock life that I'm used to, but I can explore other options. And that's the way that we find something that works even better than what we did before, is by experimenting and trying new things. So I'm always open to branching out and trying different techniques in my socks, especially when I'm testing or trying out a new pattern rather than doing a vanilla sock. I don't have a lot of creativity to, impromptu try something new on a sock, but following a pattern, I'm totally willing to try something different than what I'm used to. Let's talk about a couple patterns you've seen already if you've watched previous podcasts of mine, and let me show you the progress I've made. I'm really excited. So I've got this book sleeve. This will look a lot different than you're used to because I was last right here, right after I split and started doing this cover, this cap, whatever you would call it. And I think I'm just about ready to start closing it off and figuring out how to fix this down. I think what I'm gonna do is have a buttonhole, and then on the bottom part of the book sleeve, I'm gonna have a couple buttons just kind of going down so that depending on how tall your book is and where the top of the sleeve will land, you'll be able to attach it to different buttons. So I'm making this so it's hopefully going to be a good cover for any kind of book that I might be bringing to work when I work a night shift at the hospital and throw a book in my bag to read, just kind of keeping it protected. So that's the goal. So yeah, if the book is just the same size as the sleeve, it's about that far down, maybe 2/3 of the way down. And then if it's a bigger book, then it's not going to go down as far, kind of thing. So I need to try it on a few books and then see if I want to knit it just a little bit longer or not. But yeah, I've gotten a lot more knitting done on it, and I kind of paused because I wasn't ready to try it with a few different books, and I knew that I needed to do that in order to determine exactly when I was done making this flap. to like do the fixtures and whatnot. I'm planning on writing up this pattern as probably a free pattern on my Ravelry store, so keep an eye out if you're interested in that. But I'm really happy with how it's turning out. This colorway is called Bibliophile, and it's by Dragon Horde Yarns, who is also a local to me dyer. I love the dye style of this colorway and how it looks all knit up. I think it's really beautiful, and it's really a nice, like moody, saturated, got some grays and some like rosy pinks, and this is part of my color palette. I'm very much like a pastel, gentle colors, but I also love this kind of spectrum, like the moody mauves and burgundies and things. And this actually matches my ebook reader cover, which is so fun that like if I happen to bring both to work, then they just coordinate, which is really cute. This is fingering weight yarn, just because that's what I have a lot of, and I like the gauge. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that's turning out, and I'm actually not too far away from finishing it, so I gotta get focused on getting this done and making it the kind of thing that I'm really happy with and can start using when I go to work. The last work in progress I want to share with you is my lingering whip that I wanted to work on in the month of May. So for the past few months, I've been pulling out a whip from my whip basket and making it more of a focus project so I can hopefully get it done. Now this whip had a long way to go, and it's a large project, so I'm not surprised I didn't finish it, but I am really happy with my progress that I've made and that I've kind of gotten into the groove, and this has been a really good like TV knitting project or like movie watching project that I can work on and put in a few rows on. And it's been a good replacement for like having a vanilla sock or a muscle burr hat or things like that that are really simple to knit on. This has been a good simple knitting type of project. So this is my Grove Shawl Light by Sarah Opie. It might not look like much because it's only about half my shawl still, but let me find my progress keeper. I have knit since this cookie stitch marker. So I've knit quite a bit, like a nice sizable chunk. I've added in my fourth color, my fourth and final color. So it's gonna fade from A to B to C to D is where I'm at now. Almost done fading in D. And then it's gonna fade back from D to C to B to A. So I'm almost halfway done with this shawl now, which feels really, really good. I love how these colors look together. This yarn is from Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. and it's from their Bookish Advent. Not this past December, but the December before that. So what year was that? 2023? Yes, 2023. So this has been a long time in the making, and I'm really excited to get this done. It's definitely going to be my lingering whip focus for the month of June, and I might even have to carry it into July, but that would be okay. This has been a good project that I'm enjoying, and now that I have found my spot and can kind of just chug along at it, I am having a lot of fun. And again, when I'm not feeling my best, when I'm feeling kind of slumpy, this type of easy project that I don't have to think too much about, I'm just following the pattern and how it's written for my fades, is a really good project to work on when I just want to turn my brain off. First color, maybe my favorite one, is variegated. The second color, that like dusty pinkish. Third color is this variegated dark green with some pink in there too. And then this more bright green that you're seeing is the fourth and final color. And I'm almost to the part where I can just knit straight and I'm not fading until I then fade back into color C. I'm really excited to be almost halfway. I definitely need to move that progress keeper so I can keep track of how far I come in the next month. I made this cookie out of polymer clay and it is so cute. I think that would be really fun to make a few more like this. Progress Keeper is attached and we are ready to work on this for the month of June and see how far we get. The nice thing about a shawl like this is a kite-shaped shawl, so it starts small, gets larger, in the middle it's the largest, and then it'll decrease, is that as I get past that halfway point, it'll be faster and faster to work on. So I'm gonna make hopefully pretty quick progress as I'm nearing the end of the shawl. So not unlikely that I'm gonna finish in June, but I might also carry it into July, and that's okay too. Before we talk about some life stuff and just kind of what's been going on with me this past slumpy month, let's talk about the fun yarns that came in the mail that I'm really excited about. Again, I've wanted to cast some things on, and I know last month I was talking about casting on like a t-shirt, and yeah, was not feeling up to it, unfortunately. But I got some really fun yarns in the mail that I'm excited to work with sometime soon. A lot of these are pre-orders that I've been waiting for a while, but I'm definitely purchasing less yarn right now. And so having a good stockpile will be really nice. So I have enough to shop from my stash and see what's inspiring me. So I'm excited to be able to work on these when I'm in the mood to cast on. I got an order from Treehouse Knits, and this was their Traveling the World collection. So I think this was their Advent colorways expanded up into larger sizes, maybe, if I remember correctly. But this is White Sands on their Dove DK base. Oh, I just noticed that they have different labels. They must have upgraded their labels to this, because this is the label that they've had for a while. No, that's so funny. I just noticed when I lifted them up. It's this beautiful like watercolory type of color, purples and blues and grays. Really need to make notes for myself when I make pre-orders, because I'm really good, especially for sweater quantities, of picking a pattern that I know I can make with that yarn, so that at least I have an idea of what the yarn can be used for. But I can't remember why I bought this yarn. My best guess is that I wanted to make a rock hound pullover by Woolen Pine Designs, but that might also not be quite right. But that's my best guess. The yardage and the weight matches. I think that the watercolor look will look pretty cool in the cables. I'm not ready to cast on a sweater now, so I'm okay to wait a minute and kind of mull it over and make sure that's what I want to cast on with these. But I'm really excited about this yarn. I think it's really stunning and should make a really beautiful sweater. So yeah, I have a sweaters quantity. I only picked up 2 of them to show you because I didn't want to carry all 5 of them and show them to you. Something else that came in that same order from Treehouse Knits was the colorway Paris, and I bought a skein of spruce sock and a skein of Truffula cashmere lace to go together. So fun. This is so soft, this cashmere lace. I think I wanted to make a really cozy hat and knit these together, but I'm not quite sure. Again, it's been months since I ordered this yarn, so I don't remember what I planned on making, but that is my impression, like in the back of my brain. I might make like a muscle burra in a larger gauge or something. Might find a different kind of simple pattern. Because of all the coloring in here, I think that something simple would be best. But again, I'm not in the mood to make a hat with this really fuzzy yarn. And so I have a few months that I can kind of mull it over and decide what to make. That would be a really fun project, a really nice and simple one, and very cozy. And these are definitely my colors with the pinks and little pops of red and whatnot. So I think it'll turn out really pretty. Cute hat? I think so. The next thing I have to share with you is actually really, really neat. So Witchfire Fibers had an Oracle pre-order, and I loved watching them purposefully and intently share different colorways based on different Oracle cards that they have in their deck and what their meaning is, and encouraging shopping, not based on consumerism or like a club monthly buy type of focus, but on intently purchasing the colors that are really speaking to you. And while I purchased a couple as that club was going on, this is the one I purchased from the pre-order, and this is the Universe. Beautiful. With these minis. I don't remember what the mini colorways were. Really moody. I love purples, and this was just really calling to me. Something else that I did that I think is so cool is Jess of Witchfire Fibers was offering personal oracle readings. She would take each order individually and consider it and do an oracle reading for you and give you some mini skeins to represent that oracle reading. I thought this was so neat, and I'm sure it was a lot of work for her to do, but knowing that she did this personally and with great intent and thought towards each purchase, so cool. So I had my oracle reading for Emily. She included like a journal page if I wanted to journal about the reading that she gave me. She wrote down the date, and she wrote down all 3 cards and her interpretation of the meaning, or at least her impression, I should say, because there are multiple interpretations based on what fits you in your life and what you need to hear and what intentions you need from that oracle reading. So I really loved getting this and having the parts of that oracle reading. So I'm not going to go into super big detail, but I'm going to tell you which 3 cards she pulled for my reading and show you the mini skeins that go with them. The first card was the Explorer. The second card is Fate, which interestingly enough is a companion to my third card, the Weaver. So yeah, I just found this oracle reading experience really, really cool and something that I could feel connected to and something that could give me pause to think and to consider for my own life and what I want to do with the reading that I received. I thought it was so, so cool. And I don't know if Jess is going to do this again, but I would definitely check out Witchfire Fibers in case she offers this again, because I think it was such a cool opportunity. A couple other yarns I purchased. This is from Tiny Human Knits, and they just do small Etsy updates, so I'm really happy that I got this one. This is Scrappy Quilt, a beautiful colorway that they've posted a few times that they've been doing recently, and I love it so much. This is their 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon base. I just ordered the 50-gram skein because that'll be plenty for me to knit a pair of socks, even a larger pair, especially with this contrast mini. I will probably even have, 10 to 15 grams left over of the self striping after making a full-size pair of socks for me in this. I don't know when I'll cast these on, but I've been wanting this yarn for a really long time and I keep missing the updates. So I'm really happy I got some this time. Then let's talk about Yarnaceous Fibers. I've been purchasing a lot of Yarnaceous. This colorway is from their Swift Reads Yarn Club that I am participating in. I'm getting every single colorway, and this is the colorway Call It What You Want. It's in the Sino sparkly base. You can definitely see that sparkle on this base. 75% superwash merino wool, 15% nylon, 10% stellina. I'm thinking I might make a blanket with all 13 of these colorways, but what's really cool about this club, if you haven't heard of it, this yarn is inspired by a book that is inspired by a Taylor Swift song. So there's some inception going on, but that's where these colors come from, is from the book itself. It's really fun as someone who likes Taylor Swift, who likes books, who likes yarn, to participate in this yarn club. And my plan is to read all the books that inspire this yarn and to be able to mark it off on my list. I've only read 1 book so far, and I know that it is now June, so I have 5 colorways already. That's my plan, to get through all of these books. I just am still working on it, and it's not a priority at the moment, but I think later on in the year, when I have almost all the yarns, that's when I'll really hunker down and read a lot of these books, maybe do a vlog for you guys. And then I mentioned earlier the Emily Wild book box from Yarnaceous Fibers. Here's the other colorway that I have not worked with yet, but this is from the Dark Fairy box. This is Bambleby's Past. Nice and moody. And the 2 minis that came with it, this one is Golden Thread, and this one is Murky Pond. Definitely a very different vibe. Still very foresty, woodland-ish. Not sure what I'm gonna make with that sock set yet. I just really wanted to have both sock set options in case I liked one more than the other. And I really like using the Light Fairy yarn for the sock pattern that came with the box, but gotta figure out what I wanna do with the other sock set. And then this one, if you saw a couple months ago, I talked about Maggie just sent me a random little mini of this colorway that was so cute. And I was on the fence about purchasing this yarn. And then she sent me that mini and I was like, okay, well now I need this yarn because it is so cute in person. I was able to find it at a local yarn store of mine, Petits and Pearls. Now, I could have bought this yarn from Maggie at the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair, but I kind of zoomed through the fair because I didn't have a lot of time. I had to work that morning, and then with driving time and whatnot, and I was doing a class, so I kind of ran out of time. So I didn't have as much time to peruse her booth as I would have liked. So I was really excited that I saw this yarn at my local yarn store so that I could still purchase it, even though I missed out on her booth and did not get to spend as much time there as I had wanted. So this is her Salta Fingering base, 85% superwash merino wool, 15% nylon, in the color Maple Mascarpone Fig Tart, and the mini is Fig. This color is so cute. I love it. So fun and springy too. Again, don't have a plan in mind necessarily, but I can always use a good sock set. about life stuff. So I'm not going to share too many big details, but the month of May did not go as planned. I got sick. Like sick enough that I called out of work. And then immediately after I started feeling better, my family came into town. So we were really busy with that. And my health is just like not recovered entirely. And part of that was I actually needed a med adjustment for my chronic illness. And thankfully I got that med adjusted. We're still trying out this new dosage. We'll see how that works, but I'm really hoping that that helps me feel better because I've just been really exhausted and not feeling up to doing a lot. And so I think physically and socially, I was feeling kind of slumpy, just a little bit burned out, tired, not feeling like doing a lot. And as a result of me not feeling my best, I didn't want to read. I didn't want to knit. I had like 3 or 4 vlogs that I was in the middle of, and I just couldn't finish any of them. And so that kind of stalled me out too mentally because I wasn't feeling good. I didn't feel like filming. And even in some of my footage, I sound really sick, and I don't feel that bad, but I sound really sick in some of my footage. And I thought about maybe refilming stuff, but I'm just going on ahead with it because I'd rather have footage and have some vlogs for you guys. So I have a lot of things in the works. I just came out with a vlog, the Emily Wilds book box vlog, and I have, let's see, a bookshelf decorating video because we have a finished bookshelf. So I put my books all on that bookshelf. I have another book box from Yarnaceous Fibers that I am most of the way finished on. I've got a random vlog for reading that I've done a lot of work on as well. Probably have 1 to 2 other books I want to read before I'm totally done with that vlog. But yeah, I've got a lot of things in the works. So I think you're gonna get a couple more videos in June than you got in May. I wasn't feeling up to filming. I wasn't feeling up to doing much. Even on days where I had some time, I thought about maybe filming like a spring cleaning my yarn video because I definitely need to kind of reorganize this station, and I just did not feel up to it. I've been taking a lot of naps, like it's been rough. So I'm hoping in June I'm feeling better, got my meds all figured out, hopefully, and I can enjoy the nice weather. I can enjoy the summertime and fun summer plans, both big things and little things, looking up for the month of June. So thanks for bearing with me as I have not felt my best and have not put out the content I was hoping to get out in May. Not doing hardly any of the reading or the knitting that I was anticipating. I did still make progress, so I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping though that I'm gonna be able to finish all 3 of my whips in June. Maybe not my shawl, but my other 2 whips, I definitely think I can finish. I can finish another little tiny gnome, and then we'll see what else I get to cast on. One thing that I really would love to do in the month of June, and I don't know if this is too much of a stretch, but I want to move my office craft room space downstairs. So we have a little bedroom downstairs on our main floor. It's on the small side, but it's kind of far away from our primary bedroom. I feel like that's a better space to put like an office craft room area that's a little bit out of the way. In that room, we call it the crap room because that's kind of where we've dumped things. And I've really wanted to fix that space up and make it my office for a while. It's a little bit smaller, but it's also a better layout than this room. So I would love to finish cleaning out that space, finding spots for all that random stuff, and moving my office craft room downstairs. It's in a similar spot in our house lighting wise, so I feel like the lighting is going to be good. It'll be really easy to just close the door and keep the cat out away from my plants. Like, I think it's going to be the best of all possible scenarios. So I'm really excited to do that. And I'm feeling motivated to get it done this summer now that our family's visited, and so we don't have any other big visits for a while. So I'm definitely going to be vlogging some of that, but first I need to finish cleaning out that space. So I might not get to organizing this shelving until that video happens. And I mean, I could do a spring cleaning video if you want me to. I think that would still be fun, but I will definitely be reorganizing everything when I move it all downstairs anyway. So I might just wait a little longer and film that kind of video then when I'm transferring everything downstairs. A little ambitious to think I'm going to be doing that in June, but I wasn't working today and I got a couple like small tasks done on my to-do list in prepping that space and starting to clear some stuff out. I took my donation box to the thrift store the other day, so we're making progress there. But there's definitely some stuff that needs to find a home that is currently homeless in the crap room. Those things are going to be a little bit harder to figure out what to do with, but that is the plan. Other than that, I don't have any like big exciting things going on in June. Hopefully just kind of recuperating and getting back into the swing of things. We don't have any fun summer trips planned this month. In July, we're going to be doing a family trip, which I'm really excited about, but it's also going to coincide with the same week as the Utah Yarn Crawl. So that's going to be a little tricky to figure out how to make time to do the yarn crawl and do this family trip. And my work denied my PTO request. So I still have to work my normal shifts that week. What can you do? We're gonna make it work though. It's gonna be a fun-filled week, but that's not till July. So we have a little while to go before that is a current problem. Let me know if you're doing anything fun in June. I would love to hear about your fun summer plans. If you have any fun making or reading plans for this next month. I have not made any plans because we saw how May turned out, and I think I'm still going to be recuperating a little bit physically and kind of just getting back into the swing of things and figuring out what the rest of the summer is going to look like. I still definitely want to knit a tee, and I was looking at some patterns to get some inspiration on kind of what was calling to me. I think I'm feeling either the Brooklyn Raglan Light by Tori Yu or maybe the Uptown Tee by Tori Yu. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. If you have any fun knitted tees that you have loved, let me know because I definitely need more of those in my closet considering how hot it gets here in Utah. I need more knitwear to wear during the warm months. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. Even though I have not felt my best and May did not go as planned, I'm happy with the things I was able to make and the things I was able to work on. I'm really looking forward to what June will hold as I finish some things and hopefully start some fun new projects and also hopefully feel better and get out of this knitting slump. So let me know if you have any tips to help me as I am recovering physically and getting back into my knitting groove. Until next time, happy making. Bye.